Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you are watching and listening to this theme park news update across all platforms. I am the Chall, and today, Chall Chats Six Flags Great America, they made their announcement in the last 24 hours of the Wrath of Rakshasa, this brand new Bolger and Mabyard record-breaking dive coaster, and we're going to talk about everything around this project, talk about the records it breaks, share animation footage, and much, much more on the YouTube side. Of course, those of you listening on Apple and Spotify will get all of this update in audio format, so you'll hear me speak about it. So even if you can't see any of the footage before going on to the YouTube version of this update, you'll be able to hear exactly what's going on. Now, before we get started, make sure here on YouTube you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube and 500,000 total views. Let's get there as soon as possible, please. Make sure you download and listen back on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Sit back, relax. Those of you listening to this, grab a popcorn, grab a Coke, sit back and enjoy this one. Make sure you go follow us on other social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and X. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Chall, and let's get started by Chall chatting about Six Flags Great America. Let's go. So, as described by the website, welcome to the park, Wrath of Rakshasa, the steepest and most inverted dive coaster in the world. As you rise, the air grows thick with anticipation, and whispers of Rakshasa lurking within will send shivers down your spine. Towering ominously an impressive 180 feet, this dive coaster invites you to ascend into the shadows before surrounding to a heart-stopping 171-foot drop and a record-breaking beyond vertical 96 degrees that feels like a descent into the abyss. As the world's most inverted dive coaster, Wrath of Rakshasa sends you into a whirlwind of 5 inversions, I got that prediction right, that will test your limits and leave you breathless. Reach speeds of nearly 67 miles per hour as you race through the Demon's Lair, soaring through 3,239 feet of steel track. Feel the adrenaline coursing through your veins as you navigate this sinister design crafted for both thrill and terrify. Gather your bravest companions and prepare to comfort the demons at their waits. Wrath of Rakshasa promises an unforgettable experience that will test your courage and leave you breathless. Wow. Step into the darkness, embrace the fear, and make memories that will leave you screaming for more. Your twisted adventure is just a dive away. Now, here is some highlights surrounding the ride experience. 3 sleek trains with 3 rows of passengers across 7 seats across. So we pretty much got that right. 3 rows per train, 7 seats across. It will be 18 riders per train. 3 trains. That, of course, means if it's 18 riders per train and you've got 3 trains on the circuit, what do you get? Do your maths, 54 riders per train. So that is what we're getting with this ride experience. Now, here is some of the highlights, or some more highlights. 3,239 feet of track. That is brilliant. We also have thrilling anticipation while the ride vehicle pauses in a face-first cliffhanger hold before plummeting 171 feet. So that is pretty good as well. A beyond vertical 96-degree drop, which is just unbelievable. 5 gravity-defying inversions. Got that prediction right again. Boom, boom. Speeds of nearly 67 miles per hour. And the Wrath of Rakshasa is a custom-designed dive coaster layout created by, of course, the masters of the dive coaster, Bolger and Mabyard. So this layout is a fairly standard one. Like you say, you go up this 180-foot lift, you go down this 171-foot drop at 96 degrees, the steepest on any dive coaster in the world. You've got a maximum of 5 inversions on there, the most inversions on any dive coaster in the world. And I'm very, very happy we got that prediction right. Very, 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 very happy. Now, obviously the name Wrath of Rakshasa is brilliant. We'll go on about that in a sec. But as you see it coming up the lift hill on this animation footage that was released by the park as part of the trailer of this ride experience. Of course, no POV released. Of course, when that does get released, we'll bring it to you here on YouTube, on Chall Chats. Those of you listening on Apple and Spotify will have to go onto YouTube to watch that POV when it comes out eventually on the animation. So you've got this 171-foot drop straight down after a matter of seconds of hanging on the precipice in the world's steepest drop. And then you go up into this first inversion. Speeds up to 67 miles per hour into this big Immelman inversion. It's the world's most inversions, like we said. So you've got 5 inversions in total. You've got a roll there as it's coming through one of the turns. You've got a big roll over one part of the track. Then it comes through another roll as it comes around one of the helixes. So again, it's a wonderful experience. It's got a lot to unpack during the whole ride. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, what about the name and the logo and the colour scheme for this ride experience? Let's start off with the colour scheme since we're speaking about the layout of the ride. So colour scheme wise, it is looking fairly nice. You've got this blue mixed in with the kind of light yellowy kind of... It's starting to fade into a brownish, but it's more of a yellow than a brown fade, so we can let them off with that one. I think that the blue and yellow mixed together very well. It reminds me of Goliath. Now, of course, at Six Flags, there are many different forms of Goliath. We know that, and I think you know that. So when I talk about Goliath, and when I say this is referencing Goliath in terms of the colour scheme of the ride experience, I'm talking about Goliath in terms of the inverted roller coaster, which is the Bulgar and Mabbeyard inverted roller coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. I'm talking that Goliath. It gives me vibes of that kind of colour scheme. That's the vibes it's giving me here. And for me, I think the colour scheme is very good. I think the blue and the yellow mix together very well. How they're going to incorporate this into the area of the ride experience, I've got absolutely no idea. I think that the way they're going to collage it together is going to be fairly straightforward, but it will be seen to be believed how and much we see that conversion happen and that collage happen of the colour scheme mixed with the rest of the area. Of course, this isn't taking over the demon plot of land. The demon is still alive. It's staying at the park. This is just replacing Buccaneer Battle and the surrounding area of Greenland, which has been already dug up, ready for construction, as construction progresses on site for this ride. Now, in terms of the name, Wrath of Rakshasa, I said before in the previous video, I love that name. I think it gets straight to the point. It's the wrath of a demonic being, this demonic creature that's got cannibalism linked to it. It's got many different gruesome things linked to it. And I think that the name Wrath of Rakshasa, straight to the point, branding's perfect for it. From a merchandising point of view, it's going to be fairly straightforward branding and promoting this ride on shirts, mugs, pens, whatever they decide to go for from a merchandise perspective. And I think that the branding and the icon of Wrath of Rakshasa is fairly straightforward, straight to the point, and I think that it's a wonderful choice of name. What about the logo of this ride experience? Well, as you can see by the logo of this ride, you've got this stonish kind of, again, I'm talking Goliath vibes in a way. I'm talking Kumali at Flamingo Land in terms of the style of lettering almost. Obviously, Kumali, in terms of the actual logo for Kumali at Flamingo Land, obviously that's a completely different logo. I'm talking about Kumali in terms of the lettering above the rock work as you come into the entrance of that Vekoma suspended looping coaster at Flamingo Land in Yorkshire. I'm talking about that kind of stone, kind of light yellowish, brownish stone lettering. And obviously you've got the blue around the wrath as well, so of course representing like blue smoke or blue mist, something like a demonic being would have to enter their presence into the atmosphere. So I think that, and of course the blue match with the colour scheme. So I think that the Wrath of Rakshasa logo looks fairly standout. Again, from a merchandising perspective, it'll stand out on clothes, it'll stand out on mugs. I think from a photo perspective, if there is an on-ride photo point, which I really hope there is, I think that for on-ride photos point of view, I think that it could be a wonderful opportunity to create some themed frames around the Wrath of Rakshasa. Again, Alton Towers do it, Thorpe Park have done it. Right now, I've just seen it up on my shelf, my Ice Age 4D frame as an example. And you look at, in those of you who had the photos taken in front of Ice Age 4D at Alton Towers will know this one. You got the mix of blue as a frame cover around the photo. You got the Ice Age with the green screen on there. You've got the obviously myself and my family stood in that photo. So again, it's all about what makes it stand out. And I think if you have something like that for Wrath of Rakshasa, if there is a photo point on that ride, you've got a fairly good opportunity here of creating something magical in terms of creating potential moments for families, generations that ride this dive coaster. So let's round off then by talking about my thoughts overall as a summary on the Wrath of Rakshasa. So we were fairly straightforward with our predictions. Some of them we got wrong, some of them many other people got wrong. I'm glad I got the 5 inversions right. I did talk about the 5 words and talked about it being, you know, 5th B&M in the park, which it is, confirmed now. Obviously, we knew for a fact that a dive coaster was coming anyway, but we now know that it's confirmed to the public. And then 5 inversions, that was my prediction. I'm glad I got that one right. So I think 5 inversions, the most inversions on any dive coaster in the world. I think that's a fantastic record to break. I think it makes it stand out from the majority of the dive coasters. And the evolution of the dive coasters has been fairly unique to watch, because the dive coasters, since the addition of Oblivion in 1998 here at Alton Towers, the original home of the dive coaster, we've seen many of these pop up in different forms. We've seen other big, wide dive coasters like Oblivion, Sheikra, Griffin. You've also seen ones in China. You've also seen more themed experiences, Baron 1898, Crake. And you see these other big dive coaster projects, and obviously the 7-seater cross train comes into it, and we see more of these pop up. And I think that more dive coasters are going to pop up. The success of Dr. Diabolical's created a potentially great relationship with Six Flags in terms of introducing potential other dive coasters to the park. So I'm really excited. I really hope that you guys enjoy this, and I think that the Wrath of Rakshasa is going to be a wonderful project. I'm going to stay tuned to all the construction on this, give you guys the latest construction updates if and when we can. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now, and that is the end of your theme park experience. Have a good day.